Welcome back to Cigar Talk. I'm your host, Rob Jones. Today we're doing a little thing a little bit different. Instead of having our guest interview in the middle of the show, we just decided, you know what, let's have our guest on the entire show. And so it's a real treat that we have a special guest with us today. It is El Presidente, better known as Dan Thompson. How you doing today, Dan?
Hey, Rob. It's great to be here. It's fantastic to have you here with us in Weatherford, Texas.
Yeah, we are at the headquarters in the conference room, so we got the behind-the-scenes look. And the cool thing is, just downstairs, there's a pallet of thousands and thousands of Micallef A cigars being shipped out.
Rob, we got to get your eyeglasses checked. There were pallets.
Pallets.
Not just a pallet.
Yeah, pallets of Micallef A.
Yes, they are going out. The first 15 stores got them shipped on Monday, and they're going to the rest of the world today.
Well, you know what's funny? I went down there and looked, and I saw the Abilene, Texas box.
I know, and we requested that you not carry it back. We trust the UPS man.
I said I would be happy to take them back for the Leaf.
Yes, we know.
Okay, I'm just saying, I'm only 2 hours away. They could have them this evening.
For the record, Jay called
and said, don't let Rob have my cigar.
And said, please use UPS.
Well, UPS does good work.
Yeah, the man in brown brings packages of goodness.
That's right. My brother's actually a man in brown. He is a UPS driver. And let me tell you what, that is not an easy gig.
No, it's not.
That is
especially around the holidays.
Oh, well, now with the COVID, it's like holidays year round because everybody's home just ordering stuff because they're bored.
Yeah, I've seen that. Had that conversation with the wife.
Yeah, my wife is the same way. I'm like, every day with the packages.
Do you know how much money we've saved as a family?
None.
Well, she keeps telling me how much money we've saved as a family.
Yeah, I get that same. You know how much I saved on this? Yeah, I didn't know we needed that. So we're here at the headquarters in Weatherford. This is probably my 5th or 6th time being here. And it's just like, in fact, this is how, even though I've been here 5 or 6 times, I still had my son take a picture of me in front of the headquarters because you're at the Micallef headquarters.
Well, it's especially special to have your son here with us today.
Oh, it is. This is, in fact, he smoking his first cigar today, which is a Micallef Riata. And so, we talked about it on the way up here. I was like, they're probably going to offer you a cigar. And I said, if you want to, take. If you don't, just be polite and say no. And I said, but here's the thing. Your first cigar, you're not going to want to have it on an empty stomach. So we're going to have to stop by and get you something to eat. And then I said, you're not going to want to smoke what I'm smoking. I said, you're definitely going to not want to smoke what I'm smoking.
Well, I think that we should tell people what you actually got to have when you got here.
Oh, right. And see, now I'm sad, Dan.
There was only one.
There was only one Micallef A, and Dan made me smoke it right here at the table. I wanted to tuck it away in my humidor, which, is not my forte.
It's very not you.
Yeah, not me, because usually when I get something good, I want to smoke it. But the Micallef A is a special cigar. This has been a process. This has not been overnight, hey, here's a new cigar. You let the ambassadors name the cigar, but before they named it, you did a whole thing where everybody was allowed to partake in the experience and enjoy the cigar. Who else has done that?
Well, I don't know of anybody.
Nobody.
But that's what happens when you bring a team of people together. We've got Andy out as a sales director who knows the tobacco industry. We've got Sam, who's a millennial, who's helping us every day. And then we bring Amanda Micallef in, and we go, how can we do things different? And we're blessed to have a partner named Alan, who runs our production and is president of the factory down in Nicaragua. And he said, hell yeah, let's try it.
Nice. Well, and we talk about that all the time on the show. The Micallef experience is completely different than any other cigar line. I mean, the innovations that you guys have done, me and Bryant just are blown away every week when we talk about the Micallef brand, because it's not like, okay, well, let's talk about this is the high point of Micallef. you guys have high point after high point after high point, not just the cigars, but the way you're taking care of the brick and mortar. I mean, with the Phoenix program, show them the Phoenix program that you have there.
Yeah, I've got in my hand a copy of the Phoenix program, and it's confidential. It's for our retail partners. We are so happy to be able to work with them in a way different than anybody in the cigar industry. Normally you go to the show, which is canceled this year, but we'd already announced we weren't going. We sat down and we understood the pain and the feeling of how difficult it is to do business during COVID. We said, what can we do different? And our answer was, let's build a program all year that allows them to manage their cash better so that they can get all the right blends in place so that their customers can enjoy Micallef cigars.
And I say you've knocked it out of the park again, because let's go back. So I really found out about Micallef cigars last year, I want to say in February. They were already on the shelves, but I hadn't heard of you guys. And so I really hadn't smoked them, but you guys were gracious and agreed for me to come up here and do a show, not knowing who I was, because, I mean, it was in our very beginning. And so just the fact that you guys opened the doors, you gave me a tour of everything, I was just like, I got to get to know these guys. And so when I went back to Abilene, I started smoking Micallef, and I was like, holy crap, nobody knows about these. I kind of felt like I had that hidden gem to myself. But then my big mouth starts running, you know, and everybody's like, hey, what are you smoking? And I tell them. So now I want to say Abilene has got to be like on the radar for a very high Micallef smoking product.
Well, it's actually really exciting, the work that we've done with the ambassador program to launch it. We've got ambassadors all over the country, and you're right, Abilene is not only recognized for the ambassadors out there who are smoking our product, but Jay at the Leaf is one of several stores, Smoker Haven, Executive, Big Boys, who are now selling cigars nationally, Micallef, to ambassadors all over the country.
Yeah, that's
so it's
awesome.
been a lot of fun.
Yeah, and, you know, we have the weekly HERFs, and one of our favorite people that joins us almost every week is Bill White. And Bill White couldn't be a better ambassador for anybody on the planet. That guy, he's behind Micallef 110%. In fact, last week on the HERF, I was smoking a Medallia, he was smoking a Medallia, and Orlando was smoking a Medallia. And I was like, you know, when you have 25 people and 3 people show up smoking Medallias, and that's not even counting the Micallef line that other people were smoking, but just the Medallia, I was impressed.
Well, I'll tell you what, I could be wrong, but I think Bill White's coin number is 62.
Yeah, he told me.
If that's any perspective.
He told
it's
me.
62 or 63, if I remember correctly.
I didn't want to hear that.
What was yours? I forgot.
298.
298.
298. Well, the great thing about Bill is he is lower than Bryant at 165.
Well, we have to channel little Bryant anytime we can bring up your coin number.
Oh, man.
It's fantastic co-hosting with you, Rob.
Hey, man. So, yeah, we haven't done this. So, what have you been up to? I mean, besides working 24/7, I mean, when you get some free time, what is it that you do?
Well, there's a lot of things we'd like to do when COVID's not here.
True.
But like everybody, we're a family. We live here in Fort Worth. What some of you may or may not know is we've been farming dogs in our backyard.
Yes, he has.
I was looking earlier this year for some ambassadors to adopt some dogs, but we got them all good family homes, and now we proudly have 2 inside dogs and 4 outside dogs.
That's still a lot of dogs.
And let me tell you, my wife loves those dogs.
I don't want your pet food bill, because I know those are some decent sized dogs. They're not eating a scoop.
They eat scoops.
Scoops, right? And those are what kind of mix are those?
Now, Rob, you got to go easy here. The mom is a Great Pyrenees.
Oh, wow!
Which is a beautiful dog.
Yes, beautiful dog.
Unfortunately, we have several doggy daddies. So we love each and every one, the gold one, the black and white one. They all have special.
The mama gets around. Is that what you're saying?
I think she was a little bit of a floozy.
Well, great looking dogs, but man, a great Pyrenees. That's what my parents had before they passed, and man, that's a beautiful dog.
They are beautiful out on the ranch. They love to take care of the livestock.
Well, over, I want to say in between Coleman and Brady is a sheep ranch, and they've got probably 6 or 7 Great Pyrenees out there. And when you go by there, you can just see them running because there's nothing going to get to those sheep.
It's really funny. The country vets are really good with Pyrenees, but we had to take it to the city vet.
Oh.
And she said, your dog doesn't know how to walk on a leash? I'm like, this is only the second time this dog's been inside.
You're like, this is a horse. This is not a regular dog.
That's right.
It's a good-sized dog, too. What do they weigh? Probably about 120?
Our female's about 80, but normally they're about 100, 120.
Okay, yeah. The one that my parents had was a male, and he was about 120 pounds. Big dog.
So it's been a great adventure during COVID to have dogs at the house, something that always makes you laugh. We've had a lot of fun watching them grow up.
So you've been spending some time at all in the pool?
Yes, you're right. I spend a lot of time in the pool.
Well, I know when
nice.
I talk to you, I can hear water in the background.
It's very tranquil.
You know what? I picture myself there with you, and then I go, oh, that's not an image that should be anybody.
It's funny. I felt the same way when you and Bryant called. I was like, hold on, this is the wrong image.
Oh, so Bryant's back home. He's been taking care of a lot of family stuff, and he'll be in the studio on Sunday with us. And we've got a big show coming up. I don't know if you've heard of the Cigar Madam, which is Coco out of, I believe, Los Angeles. I could have that wrong, but she's in California. And so we got a great show coming out this coming Monday. So this show will air a week later. So you won't know about that unless you've already heard the show.
Well, I got to tell you, I've loved listening to your guest. I really enjoyed James the other day from Black Label Trading. It was great to hear his story about living in Nicaragua.
And traveling the world.
Traveling the world. It's so fascinating how our peers who are other manufacturers, how they do it and how they come into it. And you've gotten really good at telling that story.
Well, and we try to mix it up to where we might have a cigar manufacturer on one week and then a cigar shop owner on another, and then maybe just a regular brother of the leaf like myself. And just, because everybody has a great story. We just want to know what that is. And it just, to me, it brings us all together.
Yeah, I'll tell you, it was funny. I was talking to somebody who's a fan of yours today on the phone. I spent an hour and a half with them.
Can we get their name and number? I don't have any fans.
Well, he was telling me how great your storytelling around the cigars has really become and how he enjoyed your show.
Wow, is this somebody that I'm paying? Are they on the payroll?
No, it was kind of surprising to me. I'm like, you've tuned into this?
Well, you're leaving me hanging on the edge.
It was Will Coop from Cigar Coop.
Oh, very nice. Well, I'm a big fan of his, and that is a huge honor to be even in a conversation by Mr. Cooper, because when you look at cigar news, entertainment, I put him at the top of the list. So that's a great honor, and thank you, Mr. Coop.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of great people out there who are covering it, and he told me after your interview he started listening to your show. He said, Rob does something a little different about telling people their life and how they came in as manufacturers, where I'm a little more news-oriented. And he enjoys it because he called out a couple shows. Oh,
wow. Well, that's great, man. I feel very honored. And, when I look at, to me, there's 2 major news sources in the cigar industry, for me anyway. I have the Coop and I have Half Wheel. Those are the 2 guys that I go to probably 90% of the time. So I wanted to get your take on the news that we did on the radio show. And actually, the radio show is not even out yet. It comes out tomorrow. But we talked a lot about the closing of Nat Sherman.
Yeah, it's certainly a sad event to see.
Very sad.
A 90-year-old company started by a family come to an end. We've talked about it quite a bit. We thought that Nat Sherman, when they were finally acquired by a large corporate company, that probably wasn't going to be a very good fit, and the regulations around them make it very difficult to make it work. But the thing that I admire are the sales team and Michael and what he did with Nat Sherman in a difficult situation. They are some outstanding sellers, and his leadership, given a different corporate environment, would have been very successful.
Yeah, I was very disappointed. Now, from what I understand, and I haven't dove into the information, I was out of town and I didn't have internet for 3 days. And let me tell you what, that was nice. It was a break. And even though it was a little irritating, it was also very relaxing. And my son can attest, I think I smoked more than I've ever smoked. I mean, it was just sit back, have a drink, and smoke cigars.
Hey, I've got an idea for the show today.
Lay it on me.
When you took a vacation, let's go through your top 5 cigars while you were smoking and enjoying.
Whew, I tell you what, I have smoked a lot of cigars, so there is a big window of cigars to choose from. And I'm going to tell you a new one on my top 5 is going to be what I'm smoking right now, which is the Micallef Herencia Habano. This was recommended to me to try from Sam, and dude, I have been all over this stick numerous times in this week. Because I'm on vacation, I've smoked a little bit more than I normally do, which is a lot. In fact, when we got back, I was telling Bryant, I was like, yeah, me and my son sat on the back patio and smoked cigars all night. And I said, and by cigars, I mean, I was the only one smoking. My son was not smoking. So I got in a lot of cigar smoking. And I'll tell you another one that I really like. Have you smoked the Island Gem?
I have not, but I would like to.
You know what? I brought one for Amanda, and I gave it to Amanda, but I have another one that has your name on it.
It was very thoughtful of you to bring Amanda something to smoke. I think that...
I felt like I had to get on her good side after calling you your nickname.
Yeah, you have a lot of work to do.
Yeah, I felt like I needed to, grease the wheel a little bit after I got scolded. Anyway, yeah, I got one for you. I would love for you to try it. It's a very medium stick with some nice blending complexity on the palate, but it's definitely more of a morning cigar with some coffee than it is. I drank some bourbon last night and had one, and I was like, this is good, but I really prefer it with like a Sumatran coffee or maybe a Costa Rican, something like that. But it's just when you light up a cigar that, first of all, it looks like it does. Have you seen it?
Yeah, I saw you hand it to her.
So if you look at it, I mean, it just looks like you're on a beach somewhere. You've got your bourbon in a chair and you're just enjoying the waves. That's where that cigar kind of takes you. So, if I get to go to a beach when COVID's over, I'll definitely be taking an Island Gem with me.
Well, I can't wait to smoke it.
Yeah.
We love tasting what other people are building. There's so many good cigars right now. It's just a great time to be a smoker.
Yeah, I mean, the list of cigars goes on. And I mean, that's one of the things that, sets you guys apart is that you have a great line of cigars, but what you guys are doing behind the scenes is taking it to a completely different level. You have the ambassador program, you have the private Facebook group for the ambassadors, and you've grown a crazy, awesome community on Facebook. I mean, if you guys never get on there, there's still just conversation going between the ambassadors. And I love that because it's not company driven, it's ambassador driven. So, I mean, I think it's a blessing the way you guys set that up and have brought a community together.
Yeah, we love our community of ambassadors. We're sitting in a room right now that's our conference room. To my left, there's a big TV. And we have our weekly executive meeting for Micallef. It's on Wednesdays. We have Al in, and we talk through the different aspects of the business. One of the things we include is the ambassadors. They sit their chairs at the end of the table, which is the TV, where we can go through in Facebook and we can look at their comments, positive comments, negative comments. We don't care. We want to know what the ambassadors think, what they love, and it helps us shape our strategy.
Well, and I'm the same way. I mean, a pat on the back is always great, but I love the negative feedback because, and I mean, don't get me wrong, guys, I do have a little bit of a feeling on my shoulder, but for the most part, if you tell me something that you don't like, I'm like, oh, I didn't think about that. You know, a lot of stuff that we do, you don't even think about it, just becomes part of the show. So if someone chimes in and says, I had a great feedback just the other day on the Discord server from Adam up in Boston, and he was like, why is Bryant's cord always hanging down instead of looped around the thing like yours is? And I said, because he keeps messing with it.
Well, you know, Brian's really come a long ways as a broadcaster. You have helped him tremendously, and he is now a personality to reckon with.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I couldn't find a better partner for the show. And the way, and as much fun as he makes it. I mean, when we get together, it's just, it's fun. And I've had other guests, and it's been fun as well with them. But Bryant just every week comes in, and you just never know how it's going to work out.
No, he rolls in with personality, and it just spices the show in just the right direction.
And I don't know if you saw this, but, you know, on the regular or on the pre-show, he was making fun of my baby Flavor Flav.
So was I.
Well, here's the thing, and I told him the story, but my daughter bought this at a secondhand store when she was about 4. So even though it's like beautiful, it means everything to me. You know what I mean?
Well, I love how you can take something that's meaningful like that and try to work it to your advantage.
Absolutely. See, you see the way I set you up there.
Oh, I knew that this was a setup, but that's okay.
So anyway, back to the top 5. Then another one that and this one's been no surprise to everyone, but I've really been enjoying the Aladino Corojo Reserva. Have you had one of those?
No, I smoked it last night.
Oh, what'd you think?
You know, Corojo is it Corojo or Cameroon?
Now, they do have the Cameroon.
I smoked the Cameroon last night.
The Cameroon, for me, is not as good as the Corojo.
I thought they did a great job with the Cameroon, which is not my favorite tobacco, but it was an excellent smoke.
Yeah, it's a good smoke, but the Corojo Reserva is really good. And I think I have one of those you can have as well.
Rob, you don't have to bring us gifts.
I always bring gifts. That's what brothers of the leaf do. So that would be my number 3. And of course, you know, I can't ever have a top 5 without the Medallia, because I told a whole reason why that cigar is in my top 10, I think, 2-3 weeks ago. And the thing about it is, and I said this, and I'm serious, I don't want Micallef getting any ideas here, but to me, the Medallia Corona Extra is easily a $20 stick. And for you guys, retail to be $10, I mean, it should be on everybody's top 25.
Well, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to rip off the phrase that you coined.
Lay it on me.
At Micallef Cigars, we want to be from 4 to 42.
That's what I say, but you know what Bryant says? Foe to 42.
Yeah, I've heard his foe to 42.
He always tells me, you got to get it right.
No, but we love being in that price point. You know, I recently got asked a question in the Facebook forum on how do we price cigars. One of the leading points I had is we want to be 4 to 42. We want to be able to bring in choices, whether you want to feature a leaf like we have in the Bolds, the Ligero, the Nicaraguan, or the Sumatra, or the Matafina, or do you want to focus on a blend like we have in the Legacy line? And we're there from 4 to 42 all the way.
So let me ask you this. I don't even know. What is going to be the price point retail for the Micallef A?
So I think it's set at either 7.25 or 7.5.
Wow. That's a home run.
That's why you saw 3 pallets shipping today.
Yeah, that's a home run. In fact,
our ambassadors, they want it, and we priced it in a way that's great for the retailers, great for the ambassadors, and great for us.
I hope you have like 15, 20 pallets coming, because that's going to be sold out faster than, they're going to show up and be sold out.
You know, I'm looking off screen and I can see Alan, and I got to tell you, Alan and his team in Esteli at our factory, the work they're doing, we built a lot of cigars. We thought the A was going to be a hit. But now we're even adding capacity for A's that will come out next year.
Wow, that's crazy. So, Alan, you're from Nicaragua? You live down there?
I stay down there.
You stay down there? So that's the man.
Yeah, Alan is the El Presidente of Micallef SA.
Wow. So we should get him on here too.
Alan has the best stories of anybody in the company.
Oh, he's shaking his head no. That means he doesn't want to tell the best stories in the company, but he definitely, and he's turning red. Do you see this?
You know, I gotta brag on Alan for a minute. Alan he started his career with Al Micallef many, many years ago. And he looks like a young man, but he's got a lot of experience. He's been all over the world working on supply chains and manufacturing. And to have him work with the Gomez Sanchez family, they are master blenders. They built us a great product, but we were able to bring supply chain and we were able to talk about quality control in terms of how we test every cigar. And Alan's responsible for running the production schedule, and nobody does it better than Alan with what we have.
So I got to ask him, does he feel a lot of pressure down there? Yes. We got to get these cigars because, you know, all the consumers are like, hey, we're waiting.
So with Alan, though, it's certainly worth pointing out, Al Micallef, having been in manufacturing for over 50 years, knows that he doesn't like back orders. Nobody really likes back orders. They may spin it and they try to do something positive. But beneath our feet are those humidors, and you've been through the humidors. I don't know that there's other manufacturers, especially our size, that bring all their inventory here so that they have choices in terms of programs that they launch. And Alan and Al Micallef and the program they set up to bring everything in, it's just absolutely awesome.
I've been to a couple other cigar companies' not factories, but headquarters or shipping warehouse, and it's nothing like what you guys have here. You guys have, in fact, I was telling my son when he came in, I was like, that's the humidor and that's the humidor, and this is how big they are, because I've never seen anything like it. And you guys want to make sure that the customer and the retail shop always have access to the cigars they want.
Yeah, and those are the two humidors we have in this building.
Yeah,
I'm just going to leave it at that.
They're ginormous.
But those are the two here. There may be other humidors.
Oh, well, I did not know this.
Of course.
Trying to keep me out of the humidors. I see how it is.
Yes, that's why we all have security badges, Rob.
You know what's funny is I still have a security key with a picture on it. Does that look like me?
No, it looks like a very handsome and aspiring young man.
Give that back to you.
Thank you for letting me have my key back.
Yes, you're welcome. This is a good thing I didn't leave with that, right?
Well, it would have been consistent with some other visits that we've had.
So anyway, let's see. So that's for the top four. The fifth cigar, I tell you what, it's a cigar that you've never heard of. It's called Tapao. I believe it's spelled Tapau, Tapao. And it's a special blended cigar that I only get when I'm in Fort Worth. It's over at the Paladin Cigar Lounge. That's one of their special blends. And it is just a very nice medium, I want to say Habano, but I'm not exactly sure. I just know every time I go by the Paladin, I pick one up because it's like just such a smooth cigar. And so for the week I've had, that would be my top five.
That's a pretty good top five.
And I mean, I could probably name a good top 25 from this week, but we'll leave it at 5. So tell us, you've been here off and on because I know you play dual roles, but what would you say is your top 5?
Well, I've enjoyed a lot of great cigars in COVID, and as you were talking, you know, I get to come out to the office and we smoke a lot of Micallefs and we smoke some other brands, talking about what other manufacturers are doing. Doesn't really lead us in our own production life cycle, but we like to know what other people are doing.
Sure.
You know, we have our own approach and we have our own way that we're going to do things, and that's what we focus on. But when I get home, I get the opportunity to build my own top 5 list.
Okay.
So my top 5, I got exactly 3 Micallef A's, and I enjoyed smoking all 3 of the Micallef A's.
Now, you got to understand, the president of the company got 3.
Not 3 bundles, 3.
3 sticks. That's it. And I got 1, so I feel pretty lucky.
Yeah, we want to get them to our retailers and to our ambassadors so that they can love them. You know, it's unfortunate my last TBN was in February, so it was great to get to enjoy what they're enjoying.
You know, my last TBN was actually in late I want to say late March or early April. That's how good I did on saving those. And I had plans on saving them longer, and I'm not that good at saving.
All right, so I'm going to go back to my top 5. So I got to have a Micallef this week, 3 of those. I smoke a lot of the best Migdalia, the Toro.
Oh, no, not even close.
And I know you and Sam have some fetish around the 6x46, and it's a fantastic cigar. Don't. I understand why you would love it, but for those of us who want to enjoy all the complexities of the Toro,
no. The complexity is in the Corona Extra.
Well, I know that Sam agrees with you, and we've got a lot of ambassadors who do, and I love each and every one.
And I'm impressed that Sam, being such a young man, has that much experience with cigars that he would understand the real complexity of a really good cigar.
I've got to tell you, Sam didn't surprise me with his ability to pick up complexity, because Sam, when he was in college, really got into boutique cigars, and he's got a very wide palate, actually much wider than mine. What surprised me was his ability to rig the selection committee on Micallef Madness at such an early age. Usually that's a little older and wiser people who are able to pull that off, and he and Andy did a great job.
Maybe he should be going into the bookie realm. You know what I mean?
I'm not sure that's his wife's aspirations for him.
Oh, yeah, I forgot he's married. He's so young, I forget he's married.
So young. He's got a beautiful wife, Alexis. She's starting her teaching career amongst this challenging environment, but we know that she's going to be great.
That is awesome. What's she teaching, do you know?
I believe it was scheduled for maybe junior high English, and it all of a sudden got turned into senior AP English. Sam,
well, that's probably a better
Sam,
swap.
do I have that right?
Yeah, he said yes. That's a better swap for her.
It's going to be very hard to prepare
the last minute. I understand, but I would much rather be teaching senior AP than junior high anything.
Well, she'll be great, and they are going to be so lucky to have her.
So let's shift gears here. Let's talk a little bit about... Oh, no, that wasn't your top 5. I'm sorry. Let me back off.
No, it's your radio show.
No.
I'm happy to go wherever you want, Rob.
Go ahead.
So, Micallef, a lot of Migdalia Toros. I did get over to Paladin. I enjoy the AJ Connecticut that he has. We've got a great Connecticut at Micallef. I think that they do an incredible job with their Connecticut also.
I don't think I've smoked that Connecticut.
I've got to be honest. He does an incredible job with that Connecticut. And so it's just a nice way to enjoy Connecticut in the morning or the evening and have 2 choices. I think it's Micallef and AJ.
I haven't had the AJ Connecticut, but I do know my favorite 2 Connecticut's, bar none, is the Micallef Connecticut and the La Galera Connecticut. Have you had that one?
No, I haven't.
It is super smooth. It doesn't have that extra little kick that the Micallef has, so it's really limited to my early morning cigar. And I don't know if you know, but usually my first cigar is about 7 a.m., and then by lunch I've had 4 cigars. So when I want something like really mild, then I'll go with the La Galera. But if I'm ready like 11, 12, then I like the Micallef Connecticut, and I can smoke that after 6 p.m. You know what I mean? Because it's got a little something.
So the other 2 I have are a little different for me. You know, I love Davidoff product, and I admire that company. But when we did Off the Record, we had some guests, and one of the guests was Aganorsa Leaf. I don't know if you've smoked much of their product or not.
Oh, I love Aganorsa Leaf. With who did y'all talk to? Did you talk to
Terrence?
Yeah, Riley.
Terrence Riley, and I really enjoyed what they're doing with their leaf. That's kind of proprietary to them. I think it was the Guardian at the Gate.
Good smoke.
And it was a fantastic smoke. My wife liked it because it had a dog on the band. So
English bulldog
an
action.
English bulldog that walks the fields and protects them for them.
Yeah. It's a great smoke.
And then the 5th one that I had that really, I thought somebody who's doing some great work, I believe it's Riojas that has the blue bonnet.
You know what? I've been smoking a little Rojas lately, and I haven't had the one with the blue bonnet, but I've been impressed by them.
Well, I was in Michael's Cigar Lounge in Euless, and they had some house selections of his and the Blue Bonnet, and I really enjoyed the Blue Bonnet.
Yeah, I was up at Enfuego a few weeks ago, and they had some Rojas cigars up there, and I'd never heard of them, and I found out they're right here in Texas as well.
Yeah, he's another great Texas cigar maker, and love to be able to enjoy his product.
Yeah, I've been over that. In fact, I was smoking some of the they're called fresh roll Habanos. They don't have a band, and
yes, that's what I was talking about in terms of like a house cigar.
yeah, fantastic
It's a
smoke.
really good cigar, great value. It's definitely something that people should check out.
Yeah, I agree. Up in Fuego, they have the Maduro and the Habano. I tried them both. For me, I really like the Habano, but I know other people that really rave about the Maduro. But for me, it's the Habano, and I've been on a Habano kick. I don't know what you've been smoking all over the place, but I'm kind of surprised you didn't go with the Davidoff.
I love Davidoff product, but I've been trying to kind of get outside my comfort zone because I just find we're living in a time with so many great smokes. We've got to try other people's products. There's one last product that's actually not top 5. I only had one of them, and it was Steve Saka's new cigar.
Oh, which one?
I believe it's called the Muestra. It comes in a
not
coffin.
had that one.
And I've got to say, in terms of just great tobacco taste, Steve Saka really has killed it with that cigar. It is fantastic.
Yeah, I think they do really good work over there. I think he's very hands-on, a lot of attention to detail. He's a great blender. And one of the cigars that I've been smoking lately and I love with a cup of coffee is the Sin Compromiso. You get like those chocolatey earth tones, and it's really, I mean, barely makes it to the medium for me. It's more of a light medium, but it's been a great stick, and I've been real impressed with them. In fact, we had David Lafferty on the show probably about 4 or 5.
Lafferty's fun, isn't he?
Oh, he's a ball, man. He really is. So, what have you been doing besides working? I mean, COVID's kept you from getting out and about, but, I mean, how are you spending your time when you actually have some free time? What do you get, about 6 hours free time a week?
You know, you would definitely call me a geek. What we're doing at Micallef Cigars is so exciting that we are having fun on that. I actually did a recent software project for us. I think I told you about that the other day. That's kind of funny. We knew that it was time to help our sellers have a better understanding of their territories so they could better support the retailers. And I looked around the room, and the only person who knew how to spell developer was me. But the problem is that's all I know how to do is spell developer.
But you took a class.
I did. I enrolled in a class, and it was really funny. The people contacted me, and they said, "Are you the same Dan Thompson who was at Microsoft?"
And you were like, yep, that's me.
I'm like, yes, that's me. And they said, well, you were once a powerful, important person. And
Payback.
I said, yes, I need to learn some skills. And we built a dashboard for the sellers so that they could really understand their customers better. And, you know, that's not the sexy side of the business, but being able to equip your team with the right tools so that they can have better conversations and understand trends is incredibly important when you're working with retailers.
And I think that is really, to me, that is the sexy side, because everybody makes great cigars. And, well, not everybody. Some people make some crappy cigars, and I don't smoke those cigars. But there's a lot of companies making good cigars. You guys are doing so much behind the scenes that's never been done before. And to me, it doesn't get any sexier than that.
Well, thank you for that very much. You know, I think the program that we launched with the Tasting Passport, I've got one here with me. I know that you're working to fill yours out, but you're not eligible.
So I heard.
Brian's eligible, but
Brian's
you're not
eligible. Now that he knows that, he's going to go gangbusters.
Yeah, he'll have it knocked out in no time. But we've got this Tasting Passport. It's been really exciting to watch ambassadors get out and discover all the blends that we have at Micallef. You know, we talk about 4 to 42, but that doesn't do justice to the tobaccos that we have.
Oh, absolutely not.
You know, and when we look at our line, we are certainly a Sumatra and Habano led in terms of our flavors and capabilities. But with the Gomez Sanchez family, you're dealing with a group of people who've honed their craft over 75 years, over multiple generations. They're able to build cigars that are very reminiscent to traditional Cubans, before there was a regime there, when there was still a lot of pride in their crafting. We have peers in the industry who also had that same kind of heritage. But, you know, our Gomez Sanchez family has really focused in what they do with the San Andreas from Mexico, what we're able to do with the Sumatra. You know, across our legacy line, you'll find those flavor notes. And, you know, people who may be a little concerned and say, I'm not sure I like Habano, I would say I would agree with you. I remember trying Habano when it first came out, and I thought this was a little spicier or something than I was interested in. But when you look at the way we ferment and process and the work they do, it's really a unique experience.
Well, and that's what I love about the Habano is I remember smoking the early days Habano, and it was just like, if you love black pepper, that was your stick.
It was a powder keg.
Yeah. But the way it's been refined, now it's like on a medium stick, they use it and you get all that complexity that you were never able to get on a medium stick before.
You know, and that was part of my shift to be able to move as a Davidoff smoker. You know, I chased little complexities in taste, which they're excellent at. What I was able to find was a brand that, you know, when Al started the company and I was an outside director, I thought, wow, this is amazing what they're doing in those complexities. That's why we both love the Migdalia. We may disagree over our favorite Vitola, but it's the combination of Habano and Sumatra and Nicaraguan and Dominican filler. That's what builds those complexities that we love.
Well, and I'll say this, and I know that a lot of people that listen to the show have tried the Medallia, but if you haven't, I mean, you're talking about a $10 stick or less that has the complexity of a $30 stick.
I mean, we're not equivalent to some other brands that were some of my favorites in terms of price point. But what we provide is that same set of complexities and taste.
Thank goodness.
No, we think
you're taking quality, top tier quality to the blue collar smokers.
We want to build it for people who are out working and trying to thrive. Those are the people that we love. You know, we're entrepreneurs here at Micallef Cigars. Al Micallef, his family, restaurants, real estate, ranching, silicone. It's all entrepreneurial. It's always done in partnership with people. And what we want to be able to do is with the Gomez Sanchez family is bring that same type of partnership to our end consumers and the ambassadors and provide them great sticks at great prices.
And I think you're knocking it out of the park because you're hitting all of those. I mean, the things that you guys do behind the scenes is like no other. And I was telling my son about this. I was like, you know, the thing about it is Micallef, the brand itself, could have gone many different ways.
Sure.
And Al brought in a guy who was from Microsoft. Now, a lot of companies that do cigars would have never thought to bring in a guy from Microsoft because they're going to hire the guy that's got 30 years experience in the cigar industry. And the thing about it is, Al knew that he had the product that was worthy, but he brought in somebody who thought differently. And that is like stamped all over the Micallef brand. So hats off to what you've done with Micallef.
Well, thank you for that. But, you know, the special sauce here is being able to realize we got to do things in partnership. We do things in partnership with the retailers. We do things in partnership with the Gomez Sanchez family.
No, let me tell you this, though. And I'm not going to mention any brands by name, but there's brands that don't do that. There's brands that say, you want to order our cigars, you send us an order, and then we'll send you whatever we think you need.
Yeah, I mean, different people have different problems, and we empathize with their problems. But we want to be able to build a business that the retailers and consumers can count on. You know, and our belief in that special sauce is building a diverse team. We want to make sure that we have Amanda. She's got a filmmaking and social media background. Sam has a different background. Andy has a different background. It's by bringing all of us together that allows us to move very fast. I don't know anybody can move faster than us.
No, I agree. And I mean, the only thing you left out about Amanda is she also has the whip.
Yeah, you got a little bit of taste on that today, didn't you?
You don't steer the wrong way when Amanda's the passenger of the vehicle.
Look, Rob, you're dealing with a very highly intelligent.
I know, I'm not used to that. I usually have Bryant.
Very creative and audaciously aggressive person, Amanda Micallef.
She impressed me from the very first time I talked to her, and I was just blown away. And so I can't imagine what a fireball Amanda is on day to day.
Audaciously aggressive.
As she smiles in the corner.
Yes.
So what do you got planned on the next few months? I mean, you're doing this will be, a week old, but you guys are doing an event here in Weatherford at AME.
Yeah, Rob, what's incredibly important to the Micallef business is we made a decision we weren't going to go to a trade show this year. Trade show got canceled. We made decisions about how we're going to spend our marketing money, and we're going to invest in our brick and mortars. So what that means is we're going to have more sellers working with more bricks and mortars, doing more events so that people can taste the entire experience of Micallef. That's our focus for this year. Sometimes the team makes fun of me and they say, hey, we got to release another cigar. I go, it's important for us to help people discover the cigars that we have today.
I can't imagine that you need another cigar.
We have 16 blends and 46 vitolas.
Yeah, I mean, the entire line it covers the spectrum of what every different cigar could be.
Yeah, we have great cigars for people who are new and wanting to try. We have it in the right vitolas. We have it in the right weight in terms of strength, like your son is discovering.
Yeah, and let's talk about that for 1 second. So my son's very first cigar was a Micallef.
We were like honored to be able to cut that cigar and to give it to him and let him enjoy.
And it was a Riata, which we talked about it on the way up here, what you would expect. And, being a longtime cigar smoker and being part of Cigar Talk, you bring your son aboard, you're going to be very selective on what's his first cigar. And so I was like, anything at Micallef, you're good. But being your first cigar, I highly recommend the Riata, and then Sam said, even the La Crema. And those are two great smokes for beginner smokers that want to dive into quality premium cigars.
Yeah, and it's really interesting watching somebody smoke cigars who's new to them. It's not the same as if you smoke cigarettes, but it's watching them, maybe the first 2-3 times, they'll say, that's interesting, but they're not sure. But then at some point, something magical happens. I mean, they kind of get a twinkle in their eye. They're like, I think I understand what cigar smoking's about.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it didn't happen for a long time. I just smoked cigars because I thought I looked cool and I need all the help I can get. And so me and Tim would go by and we had no idea what we were doing. We would go in and buy a $15, $20 cigar because that seemed like that was the cool. And then...
That was a lot of money in those days, Rob.
Yeah, it was. But it was only like once a month. We would go out, get cigars,
Sure.
go out and have drinks and like celebrate. And it was like... I never knew why we were smoking the cigar other than that's what we did. And then when I smoked the cigar that hit me, I was like, wow, this is a cigar.
Rob, for me, it was interesting. I grew up also in West Texas, and there was definitely cigar smoking when we were out hunting and fishing and doing the things we do in West Texas. But when I moved and went to work at Microsoft and got my first kind of official job, it was interesting. I remember budgeting $40 a week for cigars.
Wow.
And, money was tight when you start out and you kind of launch out in the world. And the decision was, did I want great cigars and have one or two, or did I want lots of cigars? I quickly opted to have
Those are good cigars.
two great cigars. And, it's really funny when you think back at it. The two brands at that time were the St. Louis Ray. I don't know if you remember it.
Oh, yeah, I remember those.
And the Bahia Gold.
I do not know that.
Oh, the Bahia Gold was great. Unfortunately, that crashed and burned.
Okay, I never even heard of that smoke.
Well, there's a lot of cigar smokers who will remember it, and it was a fantastic smoke. But, I was a young man. I was just starting out in the world, and then to have other people in the cigar community say, you've got a budget of $40, let me share some things with you. And, immediately being able to be in that community, and they were diverse. There were people who were executives. There were people who were policemen. There were people who were auto mechanics. And getting into the cigar community that way, it was just the best gift ever that somebody could have when they were out in their first job trying to make a living.
Well, and I'll tell you, that paints a picture of the cigar community so well because, it's all walks of life. And I'll share this story. A couple of weeks ago on our Discord server, I was talking one-on-one with a guy, and his son had picked up COVID from his grandmother. And so when he came home, the wife and the husband had to be quarantined. And the husband was working a part-time job, but working 60 hours a week. But they made him quarantine. And basically being part-time, you have no benefits. And our community donated over $200 so that he could make it through the week. So that just shows you the community that the cigar community experiences that not very many other communities have.
No, I mean, there's a lot of people who have got great home church that they're part of. Those communities are very strong. But the cigar community is by far the most diverse. And the things in terms of a little help to make the bills, a little help to find somebody a job, it's a powerful motion. And I certainly think it would be better as a country if we had more cigar smokers.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I think that we should qualify each politician as, do you smoke cigars without lighting them with a Bic?
Well, I've lit a lot of cigars with a Bic, so I guess I'm out.
Oh, man. You know who I'm referring to.
No, I know. And, I just think there's a lot of great people who are normal people like us that if they could light cigars and just have those conversations, our communities would be such a better place.
Because we take note of other people's lives. You know what I mean? It's not like, I'm going to smoke a cigar and sit here and talk about myself. It's that we actually interact and get to know each other.
It's funny, in the workplace, cigarette smoking is kind of out of style.
Sure.
But I will say I know a lot of people who smoke in the workplace cigarettes, and they have a special bond with their coworkers. And that's on something that you go through really fast. And when you compare it and contrast it with what we have as cigar smokers, because we have an hour or 2 hours where we've made time to decompress and really enjoy the company of others, it's just awesome.
Well, and I mean, you take it even a step further. When two guys sit down to have a cigarette together, no one says, hey, what are you smoking? You know what I mean?
You don't have to take the bands off.
Right. So, I mean, just that level of camaraderie is, hey, man, I'm interested in what you're actually smoking, and you tell me about it, and then maybe I want to try that.
I've got to tell you something that's pretty special about the ambassador community. You ready?
I'm ready.
Did you know that we have ambassador families now?
No.
We have many families where husband and wife or boyfriend and girlfriend or significant other, whatever the structure is, are learning to smoke together. And at Micallef Cigars, that is a trend that we want to grow. We want people to be able to enjoy smoking with their boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever it is.
And father and son.
And father and son as an example. But we love seeing families that smoke together. We love seeing couples that get to share in the same interest together. It's absolutely awesome. I was thinking about, I think it's Matt at Tobacco. What's his show called? He's got his girlfriend Nicole involved smoking with him now, and it's just they're having so much fun together.
Yeah, when you bring the family in, that makes it so much more enjoyable. Because you know as well as I do, sometimes family situations are not always, let's see how we should put this delicately, pleasant. So when you
mean there's real life.
Right. So when you have family that come together and sit back and enjoy a cigar, maybe with a coffee, maybe with a bourbon, those are good times.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? It's a whole different level. Well, hey, let's announce this week's winner for the Moose Mountain Goods coffee giveaway. And this week is Calvin Holland. Congratulations, Calvin. You're this week's winner. All you have to do is send me an email this coming Sunday by 1800 and send us an email. In the subject line, put Cigar Talk winner, and then in the body, put your name, address, and whether you want beans or if you want ground, and we'll get that sent out to you. Congratulations. And all you have to do if you want to be a part of the Cigar Talk giveaways, go by our website, which is www.cigartalkpodcast.com. Click the register button, and we just ask for your name and email address. We send out on average about 2 emails a year, so we're not bombarding you. You don't have to worry about that. So anyway, congratulations, and hopefully we'll get you your email and we'll get you that coffee sent out. So anyway, what kind of coffee do you like, Dan?
You know, there's 2 coffees that we primarily drink. One is a Illy coffee. I don't know if you're familiar with it.
No, I'm
It comes
not.
in kind of a shiny silver can. It's an Italian coffee. It's fantastic.
Is it
It's
cold
always
brew?
good. No, you can get it in whole beans or you can get it ground.
Oh, okay.
It's a very old product that's very good. And the other coffee that we drink is Riata's coffee,
The Riata pecan.
the pecan infused.
Man, that is some good coffee.
That's great coffee, and you know, if I remember right, I think Vic is involved in that.
He
that
is.
right?
He is. Vic is
Vic Anderson.
down in San Angelo.
So, you know, we enjoy both a little of the infused, and then the Illy coffee is the other one that we go to. But I need to try the coffee that you guys are talking about. 'cause
Yeah, down
we
at the
like coffee.
Leaf, we love the Sumatra. We love the Costa Rican. Bryant's a big Kenya AA fan, but the Leaf, all their coffee is just lights out. I mean, it is the best quality that I've had. And I'm actually working with Moose Mountain Goods right now, and we're working on a dark roast because right now all their coffees are medium roast, and so I'm working with them to do a dark roast, and you know it's going to be something that's really good with a cigar.
Now, you always ask me to name a cigar after you.
Oh, yeah.
I hear it all the time. Are you going to get a Cigar Talk coffee?
We should. You know, I haven't pitched that yet, but it's definitely in the back of my mind.
Well, I know you've got a tough producer to work with.
Oh, man.
And I'm not sure if he'll approve such a
Well,
strategy.
you know, we'll see what comes around with him. We'll see if he makes it through the internship.
Well, it's great having him here with us. And, you know, we're hoping that you may go on a humidor tour or something so that we can visit with him for a little while.
Oh, you know, I'm always up for a humidor tour.
Well,
I need to get my backpack ready.
you know, we'll frisk before you go in and before you go out. We'll let Sam be the one that frisks
I was
you.
fixing to say, do I get to pick who frisks me? Man, y'all are rough.
Yes, it'll be Sam.
Oh, well. Hey, man, thanks for hanging out with us and doing the show. This is kind of a new format we're going to start following, and so you're the first.
Well, you know, Rob, it's so much fun to have you down to our facility here in Weatherford and to be able to talk to your audience and the ambassadors that are out there and to have you on such a special day when we're shipping all those Micallefs out to everybody.
Man, and just the fact that I was able to get a Micallef before you ship out everything out, thank you so much. That was wow, it was lights out. You know what? I enjoyed the to be named, and it's been a while. I'm going to say probably the 1st of April. And what are we now, like August 7th?
Something like that.
So, wow, I either forgot or you guys upped it up a little bit. I'm not sure which one, but I enjoyed it very much.
Well, we have Alan and the team in Esteli at our factory, the Gomez Sanchez family down there, and they are so proud to be building the cigar for the ambassadors. You know, they send us pictures because they're excited about everything that's happening here. So thank you very much for letting me come and visit with you. And we hope Cigar Talk has a great future, and we look forward to the next time.
Well, thank you so much, Dan. And until next time, I'll say it for Bryant. Keep smoking.